Sim in the middle. Geo, we can bring on the end, I guess. I don't know if I trust him to just run a little bit. Set up. Yeah. I do. He tweeted me out. He called me out on it.
Hey, I responded to him first. I didn't start it out of nowhere. He's going on rants about my wrestling. Like, you can't just run down. No, you can't bury high flyers.
You are not gonna get it. You guys missed out.
I watched.
Did you see? But
So-
you guys, why did you?
Cause I was at the bar at 5 trying to get out of there to come back, and I never got time to. Yeah.
You know, I think we turned the corner with the production.
Yeah.
We did the lighting and everything. It was, dude.
Yeah.
I got all choked up. So.
Well, even the podcast yesterday, you guys were so on about it. Like, that was good. All the way through, that was good.
I was so excited. Like, usually after a show, I was so happy with it. Yeah, it was really good. And you know, and the best thing I ever did, well, not the best thing, I let them have some creative control.
There
This
you
is all
see.
I want.
Yeah.
This is all I want. I've always let them do that. I've always let them do that, but they actually did something good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Instead of,
We'll see, and that's the point. I think when you give that to the guys that actually want this, it shows, you know? You couldn't do that with a Limelight or a... He'll be the next one I'll bury on Twitter. I think I'm done with my Twitter rants after this, but, you know, I got his response. That's all I'm at. I sent them to you, so we'll post the tweets on the show. And then Limelight posted about the lawsuit or whatever, so we'll play into that too. I mean, not Limelight, fucking Cadillac. Jesus, he's on my mind. I know, right? Now I feel bad for Cadillac. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah. We started off very cool, and then he just flipped and... Oh, on the script, yeah, he was supposed to be, yeah, my hand-picked guy, yeah, yeah. Yeah, ever since then, I try not, like, character-wise, I don't mention him for that reason. No.
Alright, well, I'll share it.
We do Wide World of Wrestling, and then bring on Billy Bonds, and then come back at the end. I mean, we could just kind of, yeah, push the character and... Yeah, okay, and that's what I kind of...
We'll just touch back.
Yeah, and we could even say that you've been to our show scouting. You can, if you want to name drop any guys that you're interested in, yeah, we'll go from there. Gio's 2 minutes away. Do we wait for him or do we... Alright. No, Gio amazing, the other...
Oh, that's what I should have.
Oh,
Yes, the show is scripted.
It's another week. We are back. Welcome to Mats and Marks. I'm your commissioner, Joseph Saint.
And I'm your owner, RJ Wallace. And you gotta love live television, man.
You gotta speak up a little. Remember, these fans are telling us they can't hear you.
You gotta love live television, guys.
Ah.
You never know when the mics are on. I mean, this is how that Clippers owner got canned. You know.
Well, we're back again. I'm here wearing the red, wearing a white tie. I was going to come up with a tennis racket, but then I realized that would never get over in sports entertainment. That's just garbage.
And you don't play tennis.
You know,
Probably the only
so
person I know that doesn't play tennis.
we got a lot to talk about as always. If you saw us last week, you know that my hands are a little tied as well as my wallet is a little tied up right now. We'll talk on that in a bit here. Let's start like we always do with the wide world of wrestling. There's not a lot to get into here about Raw and SmackDown recently, to be honest. I will point out the big news NXT-wise is the Finn Balor heel turn. Obviously, I'm not talking about tonight because some people haven't seen it yet. Talking about last week.
I just watched NXT.
Yeah, we won't spoil. We'll give the week review.
Yeah, this is-
Last week, Finn Balor came out, which everyone thought he was going to come to the aid of DIY, and he turned on Gargano, which was a pretty damn big moment.
That was good.
This is the point I like, is the crowd didn't boo, they went silent, because it's one of those moments of shock value actually working.
You came back and you turned heel. Wow.
You know, you can't say that it wasn't worth it already then for Finn, because on the main roster he was getting buried. You
true.
literally had him be the first victim of the Fiend. He wasn't coming back from that, and you know there was talk of him joining the OC, which I'm very glad didn't happen too.
They could still happen. Never say never. I
Yeah.
kind of figured he was going to start turning heel once he started getting tattoos.
Is that just heel?
Yeah, you know.
You
I
get a
mean-
tattoo and you're a villain now.
I mean, all the best heels have tattoos.
I mean,
You
I
know,
would-
Randy Orton, you know, Baron Corbin.
Ugh.
You know, Hogan has a tattoo.
It says immortal on his back.
You know, I mean,
Oh,
all the good heels have tattoos. I mean,
Tom-
Gio Amazing has tattoos.
well,
I think, right?
you can't prove if those are real or not.
I know he has like "I love carnitas" on his chest. I think that's one of them.
So that was pretty big news at NXT. Tomorrow night they're from Saudi Arabia with Crown Jewel.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow not night. That is tomorrow at noon, I believe.
Yeah, I got things to do tomorrow.
I would like to say there's something on the card I'm looking forward to, but to be honest,
Lacey Evans versus Natalia.
you know, that is a big moment for them.
I thought it was fake when they announced it.
So
was
did
like,
I.
What?
So this is the first women's match to ever take place there. That's actually big news. I don't exactly know why they went with those two. I mean, I'm proud of Natty.
I mean, have
she
you seen
earns it,
Lacey Evans?
unfortunately.
The Saudis was like,
Other than that, you have all the inter-branded matches with the boxer and the UFC fighter that's now turned wrestler. At least Velasquez, I always mispronounce it. At least he signed a deal.
Yes.
Tyson Fury has not signed a deal, so this is a one-off match.
and Tyson Fury has a fight in January.
And it's against Braun. I mean, tomorrow night is against Braun. So
Yeah.
I don't expect much out of that. Triple H has already praised him on social media, saying that his skill is spectacular. I don't expect much.
What skill?
That
I was
No.
like, yeah, I was
There's-
like, he looks stiffer than he does in the boxing ring.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know who he was, and I thought that I was, at least into boxing enough
It's
to
fine.
know.
Boxing fans don't even.
And
know.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, to be told that this guy's undefeated, and I'm like, I don't know who that is.
He's not.
At least when what's his face first Big Show, I knew who.
Because Floyd Mayweather,
Mayweather
transcends,
was.
That's why. Floyd Mayweather is boxing. His uncle, no. But yeah, tomorrow.
I mean, you have the Fiend versus Rollins. I would be greatly surprised if the Fiend somehow won that belt, because why would he? He's on SmackDown. This is the last match after the draft that doesn't make any sense to still have a Raw versus SmackDown star.
yeah.
I mean, the only thing I would say is if he wins it, have him bury the Universal
Well,
title
isn't there
and just
still,
bring
like-
back the World Heavyweight.
Because wasn't there that trade that kind of said like, oh,
For
like,
the
there's
women?
still- yeah,
Do you think that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross got traded for the Fiend? That's a really upsetting trade. If that's what,
I mean, I've seen worse trades. I mean,
back in 04, the Dudleys went for Triple H. Dudleys and Booker T
went for Triple H.
I mean, that's a fair one if you think about it. And now, looking back at the grand scheme there, legends. At the time, maybe not,
His
but
first match on SmackDown was a terrible match against The Undertaker.
this is during that trade.
Yeah. Like Great American Bash, where they put Paul.
Look at that
Paul
wrestling
Bearer in
nostalgia.
cement.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yep, where Taker's trying to save Paul, and then at the end he buries him anyway.
I think the only person that really won that trade was Triple H. He got DX back. He won the world title like 10 more times. I mean, Booker T just became King Booker.
Yeah, and then had to leave.
Yeah, the W's with the TNA.
Good times.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
04, so you can go back and watch it on the network. Look at that. We plug other promotions too. There is some more to talk about here. Something that I have to pull myself out of for a little bit. And let's talk about Jordan Miles. For those that don't know, Jordan Miles used to wrestle as ACH on the Independents. He got a T-shirt released.
And, Black History Month is coming up, y'all.
The T-shirt is, I will say this as the T-shirt is his name on a black shirt, and it's silhouetted by essentially a smile.
Yeah.
This has a certain connotation to it.
Very bad. Yep. There
Yeah.
it is. I mean, he's smiling. I guess it brought Vince back.
Now,
You know,
I understand completely where he's coming from, voicing his problems with this shirt. Obviously, I get it. What I don't quite get is how off the rails that things got afterwards.
oh yeah, black anger goes everywhere.
He tweeted out just how racially insensitive it was, which it is. WWE pulled the shirt. WWE apologized. That was not good enough. He went and started a movement, which I'm also all for. Where it gets sketchy is he started attacking
black wrestling.
black wrestlers.
And when you come after Jay Lethal, that's
You said that
that's
no,
where you draw
yes,
the line.
okay. So from there, you said that WWE doesn't take care of black wrestlers. Then you went on and said no wrestling organization has taken care of black wrestlers. When they tried to say Jay Lethal, you buried Jay
called him
Lethal.
an Uncle Tom.
Yeah. And then afterwards, it comes out. You have guys like Booker T yelling at you on social media. You had Titus O'Neil, who probably said the smartest thing of saying he stands with you, but you don't get to bury your own
Yeah, it
culture
was like,
in standing
hey,
for
like-
your culture.
Like, this is cool, but like, don't throw other black people under the bus.
Right.
And when he says WWE doesn't care about black people, first off, that's real Kanye-esque right there. But I mean,
And I think they've even had this on the Royal Ramble. We were on that discussion with them at one point. And I get it, it doesn't have a great track history of black world champions. But you can't say that they're just out to bury a race. That's real bad.
and if they're burying a race, it's the Mexicans.
Jeez. Okay, Eddie Guerrero.
Oh shit! Well, I mean, yeah, one. What have they done with Ray, Humberto?
Whoa, okay, well,
Sin
first
Cara?
of all, Umberto, they're pushing a little too fast right now.
Yes.
I think he should have been built as a star on 205. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. Little Black Sambo.
Hey, it's a Jordan Miles
Don't show the GCF logo under that. Hold on.
Hold on. We don't support that. My grandparents watch this show.
Oh man.
Well, there goes my grandparents' support.
But yeah, it's real tough thing to say about.
It's kind of a mixed bag with that.
Well, and
with
I
that
get it's
statement.
got to be upsetting where anyone that says that just hears back like, "Oh, Booker T," and like that's the best they can throw you guys' way. I mean, now yes, they're gonna sit there and say Kofi just had a hell of a run. Yeah, he didn't get the ending that everyone would have liked, but
all the people on Twitter who just like, oh, so you guys just aren't being appreciative of what Vince has done for your people. Like, what does that mean?
okay, yeah, no, that's
And then that's the same person who'll throw the Rock at us. It's like Rock is half black one. Okay.
and he's
And
yeah,
Rock
he
would-
stands
yeah.
out. I mean, that's still an
Rock would
insensitive
rather
statement,
be
but
Samoan anyway.
I wasn't gonna say it, but
I mean,
he's
I'll say
he's
it.
closer to
Yeah.
his Samoan heritage,
You
at
know-
least online, his presence.
You know, like it. You can't like no. That's not the case. It's not that we're ungrateful. It's just like, okay, name one black wrestler besides the New Day that has a main storyline on Raw. Oh, Bobby
Bobby
Lashley. What is he
Lashley
doing?
in a-
Oh, he's making out with a white woman on TV because that's what we like to see our black men doing on television is making out with white women and taking them out to dinner. Because we don't do that in real life. Come on now.
He used to have his wife on TNA. Are they still together? What was that girl's name? Literally, she was like a interviewer on SmackDown before he quit and
Crystal
left.
or whatever.
Crystal.
They're
Yeah.
clearly not together anymore. I mean, I don't know, like where there's good representation in WWE or in wrestling in general. There's also, the bad. I mean, Crime Time wasn't the best thing that's happened to black culture in wrestling. Even parts of King Booker, where it's just like, are you bougie or are you hood? There's no real fine line, but just like, I mean, everybody's gone through it. I mean, nobody,
Hollywood points out that the shirt was originally gray. Or at least that's how the story goes, is they showed Jordan the shirt, and it was either on gray or on white. He approved, and then it came back and was a black shirt. Either way, even if it didn't have this connotation to it, that really is just a stupid-looking T-shirt for a first shirt of anyone's merch. I don't quite know what they were going for, especially with them trying to deny that it had... You had Triple H saying, like, no intention did he mean for that to be a smile. And I'm like, well... But yes,
What
you
was it
did.
supposed to look
Yeah.
like, come on.
Like, I get that you didn't mean for it to come off blackface, but yes, you meant for it to be a smile by the look of it.
And Triple H, you ain't no perfect either. Like, remember that feud? I mean, Hollywood brought it up, but like his feud with Booker T. leading up
He
to
kept
Mania,
saying "you people" in the promos. I do remember that.
Or
Or people like you, and then they flipped it. But yes,
and then you had Flair just like, yeah, you people, yeah. And it's just like, all right, Flair, you're not in the South anymore. And then like the MVP storyline where they just harped on him being in prison and like, I don't know, even Mark Henry. Like it's tough. It's tough out here for us black folk in the wrestling business. But but yeah, I drew the line where he called Jay Lethal Uncle Tom.
right. That's a bit much. Just
Disrespect. Jay Lethal is a literal black gem.
Phoenix Kid says, I mean, I like to make out with women in general. So
Phoenix Kid,
yeah.
black? All right, I support it. Hey, nothing wrong with
No.
making out with a white woman on television.
all women,
I'm more of a Latina guy myself, but
These are questions you should be asking him later when we get to the
Yeah,
Q&A portion. But
Yeah,
yeah.
most definitely.
Yeah, what are you into? No. All right, let's kind of
Lots of
steer here.
yeah.
There's a couple more on Wide World of Wrestling, I guess. We went over the Rusev Lana thing already in that segment, or right there. Yeah, Rusev and Lana got the main event of this week's Raw.
And that segment was
which
so
should really tell you
stupid.
something about Rollins right now.
Yeah.
All the talent in the world, and you're busy, and we'll get to this
Well,
later,
did you
but
hear
you're
what
busy pissing people off on
Did you hear what
Twitter.
he said on the Corey Graves podcast? Did you hear what he said
Yes,
on the Corey Graves?
he buried. He continued to bury AEW.
He tries to take shots at Kenny Omega by saying, he's a bigger star and, Kenny wouldn't hack it in WWE and all this stuff. And he's just like, he said something that really made me laugh because it's not true. He said people are mad at him now for being the guy that the fans wanted him to be.
wrong.
I don't think I wanted Seth to be like this.
No one. Yeah.
This
Okay.
is bad.
Where he was right was he said these same people that cheered me at Mania. You're right. You were getting cheered at Mania, and this kind of goes for your fiance as well. You took something that you guys were getting over organically with, and you let the corporate machine tool you into what they wanted, and now you're shoved down our throats. There's a difference. Becky Lynch, the man, is nauseating. Becky Lynch, after she got punched and started doing these promos on her own, was brilliant. There's just a separation here of if they let you get over organically, it's one thing. But you can feel it. You can feel when it's writers behind you.
Yeah.
And that's all Seth's anything is right now.
And to be honest, we were cheering it because he finally beat Brock Lesnar, and we didn't want him as champion anymore. But I mean, like, yeah, like Seth, like, I don't know what happened in between him coming back again and, you know, the whole Beast Slayer thing. And, like, when he won the Universal Championship, it was just like, you make it hard to support him. Well, I mean, at first it wasn't all his fault because they were just putting him in bad situations and
Right.
in bad, like,
The thing is,
programs.
right now in pro wrestling, especially in the upper leagues, I get wanting to vouch for your brand. I do. But in today's day and age, it's not the Attitude Era and it's not the Monday Night Wars. You're not at war with anybody, and more wrestling is good business. You don't need to bury each other because the fans aren't the same as they were back then. Burying another promotion on Twitter does nothing for your brand.
or on Facebook.
AEW is sitting there going like, we're not at war, and WWE guys are just sitting there talking shit every chance they get because they're told to.
Cody's just sitting there counting money.
Cody's making money off statements like "make him say
Oh my God!
which
that's
is the
gold.
most over thing right now.
I swear
And
to
when
God,
you
if
release
Master-
that shirt, I
Yo,
will wear it.
If Master P doesn't show up at this pay-per-view with Silk the Shaka, Mac, the rest of No Limit Records, this is, I feel like this is an opportunity wasted.
Mm-hmm.
What? If none of the No Limit soldiers, especially now that Master P owns House of Glory
House of
Wrestling,
Glory Wrestling. Yep.
you know, like, Cody needs to make this happen. Make him say, he needs to get on the remix and make him say, see, Cody Black in my book.
True.
Cody and his dad, even his brother. The Rhodes family is just black in my book.
Did you see that one we can talk about? Did you see AEW Dark?
I watched parts of it.
Dustin teamed up with Sonny
With
Kiss.
Sonny Kiss, yeah.
That was a very good match.
It was.
I'm very intrigued by that.
I'm interested in. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it
You're
that
good.
way. I'm interested in Sonny Kiss. Can I say
Sonny Kiss is very intriguing.
that? Yeah.
I like the character development. I like a different brand of character, and he's definitely something to look out for in the future.
He's definitely something to look out. Yeah, look out for. I was gonna say look at.
You know.
That's, you don't want to step on toes, and you don't want to
No, Sonny Kiss is a very interesting new era
'cause
wrestler.
You know, it's 2019. Like, people can take your words.
Exactly.
spin
I'm
and
behind.
stuff, you know. I don't need D6W thinking, I'm trying to go after you.
No. Let's talk a little more wide world here because we went over Rusev, we went over Rollins. Last thing I want to
You
say
talking about
is,
your heat now?
oh no, we'll get to it. Sonny Kiss went by Exolicious at Lucha Underground.
my boy.
Very interesting character,
Not like my
very
boy,
different.
like, this-
I will say it. What I like about this character is it's something that would have had a horrible connotation in the 90s. Goldust got called all kinds of things in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Words that even I can't say on here. You're not really hearing that about Sonny Kiss, and I think
No.
that's what's most impressive about this fan base.
Because
Because
they're
they
letting his
grew
talent speak
with
for
the
it, yeah.
times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They aren't stuck in the past. And all this is going to come full circle in a little bit here. Don't worry.
But with Sonny Kiss though, I think it's because he's not letting himself go over the top.
He's not. And he's got all the talent in the world. And he's doing moves that you're not going to see another wrestler do
He's letting
because
his
it's not
wrestling
their
speak for
gimmick.
himself, and he's not letting his personal life get into his wrestling.
Right.
Like if it was like Orlando Jordan in TNA,
See it, and there you exactly. That's
then we'd be like, okay.
However, when Velveteen Dream took he
Velveteen Dream at first, yeah, but
Nope.
now,
yeah. One more thing to get to here, and that's that Ric Flair today said that he is fully cleared.
we don't need this.
Now is
We don't
he
need this.
On the Corey Graves podcast, he just felt the need to tell everyone that he is fully cleared by the doctors to, I don't know if he's saying take a bump, I don't know if he's saying wrestle a match, but
Flair
Ric
needs to
Flair
stop drinking.
let it be
That's
known, one way or another, he let it be known he's fully cleared. What that means...
Flair needs to clear his system of all this shit he's taking. We don't need to see him in the ring again.
I mean,
Flair's in the hospital with
a couple of weeks ago, and I knew where he was getting at, but when he had to ask where they were, and he was talking about SmackDown, but it came off so bad on Raw when he's going, "Where are we? What town? What town?" And she tells him the current time. He's like, "No, I'm talking about Friday. Where are we?"
It's just like, why does that matter, Rick? You're on Raw.
However, yeah, no, don't take any bumps in Saudi Arabia, Rick. Don't do it.
You know what?
And then you're just gonna
I
push,
think I'm watching
and then
that
Hogan's
video
gonna
now.
be like, "Brother, I could still go too. Let's do this."
Oh my God! If it turns into something at Survivor Series or at WrestleMania, this will.
Hogan will be out there to slam Braun Strowman for no apparent reason.
Why are you ruining such good things? It's like, oh,
All right. Let's
that made me sick.
Let's talk here. All right. We got GCF business to get to. However, things are a little awkward right now, money-wise, and Chris Cadillac, our champion, has filed a number of lawsuits, which I'll still talk about in a minute here. But until then, let's branch out. Let's stick to the positives. Something I want to do is bring in some people that haven't been shown. You know, this next guest of ours has been around, and he's been scouting, and I've seen him in a couple shows of ours. He's scouting. And he's let his presence be known in the comments for a couple of weeks here.
Who, Lance Winters? All right.
I'd like to bring out our guest,
Lance Winters is
Mr.
here.
Billy Bonds.
Oh. Okay. Oh, Billy Bonds. How's it going, fellas?
How are
Talked a
you?
little bit. How you doing, sir?
We
How's
have.
it going, man? It's
Good to see you guys.
See you.
Oh, Mike, man. How's it going, man?
So what are we talking about?
Well, let's introduce yourself. Let's tell him. Make sure your mic's on there. There we go. I know you've been vocal about what Bonds. You have a let's say here. You kind of been watching the wrestlers that we have. I've seen this, and I'm intrigued. Like, are you looking to manage one of them? Or are you looking to?
Well, I'm always watching.
Uh-huh.
I'm watching everything. But of course, I chose this wonderful world of pro wrestling to kind of narrow that focus a little bit. I mean, it's known that, I work for 3PW, but I'm always looking to branch out, to grow the family. That right there is a phrase that y'all should keep in mind. That's a little more powerful and influential entity than people are ready for quite yet. But bear in mind, the family is running things. And as far as me at GCF, I might even say I'm a fan. I have been. I have
Thank
been
you.
to the shows. You guys put on a hell of a show, but of course, business is always business.
Absolutely.
I am scouting. I actually do not have my eye on any individuals
Okay.
right now. I kind of get distracted when I go there because some of my guys are there. Our 3PW tag team champion, or one half of them, is your ultraviolet champion.
Tony Reyes.
Our current heavyweight champion was the headliner at your last show.
Almost killed a man.
Against Tony Reyes.
Sin-
Just killed a
Bodhi.
couple people.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's Sin and Mr. Reyes are both adept at that. It kind of can happen when they're around. But so I'm hanging around. I like what I see. I am looking at some people, but I'll keep the names a little closer to the vest.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll. I think it's time that GCF came into the family and vice versa.
Sounds like some Godfather shit, and I'm here for it. Listen,
Well,
we have
you're in the right frame of mind.
we have this Chris Cadillac problem. If you could
I mean, it's there's definitely a couple problems here in GCF. If you
wait,
want
can
to,
we say that if we're getting sued? Can we?
Yeah.
So
be
you gotta
careful,
watch
be
what. Yeah,
careful.
yeah. I'll.
But you guys do have some real housekeeping to do.
Yeah,
But
I
you
mean,
know that.
And we'll get into that, I guess, in a little bit here. But yeah, there's a lot we can't talk about in that lawsuit. But I'm very interested in seeing what you can bring to the table. I'm very interested in seeing what this family bonds is. It's a very.
Y'all got lawyers?
When we need them.
Okay.
I mean, I'm used to
we-
working for another powerful entity that's kind of against me right now, and that's the investors. So it'd be interesting here to see how the investors would feel if I were to, maybe sign over to another family, as it were.
The sketchiness or fogginess to your situation with the GCF investors is that kind of thing is alien to me.
Right.
Speaking of aliens, I mean, I think the
if-
Illuminati's involved.
Well,
I can't
if-
get into that.
In my organization, for just to put a word on it, if we don't like you or if you're no longer in favor, there is no 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Mm-hmm.
You are what you are, and you know at all times exactly what you are. There's no, I guess, ambiguity. No
Gotcha.
ambiguity.
Gotcha.
So,
Well,
yeah, you just might be at home.
Winners are winners. I think we can see that in each other. So yeah.
I just like being behind rich, powerful white people. That's all.
Be careful. That gets lots of lawsuits lately. So I mean,
Yeah, and I don't know about the rich, but that's
Powerful.
Yeah, lots of things in the works. Lots of things in the works. But I think this right here is actually the start of something. I think it's time to put a little bit more of a public face on the kind of things I'm talking about. So
I'm
Stand
interested
by.
in seeing that. Absolutely. That sounds good to me, actually.
Family bonds. Sending horse heads to people's doors.
Now, let me ask. There's no one person that you're after. You've said this. So, is there a type? When you look at wrestling, is it the grand scheme of all wrestling? Are you against any one thing in wrestling? Are you against flippy shit, for lack of
you're
a?
gonna bait me, Mr.
No, I'm just saying.
I although I'm not all the way in, I am a let's say it's half torn and crinkled and buried somewhere in my wallet, but I am a card carrying member of the Cult of Cornette.
All right.
Like
All
I
right.
said, it's not 100%, but I can't deny that. I'm an old school guy. NWA Power, even though I was like 5 the last time that kind of thing happened, for real, but it still gives me the feels. It's the old school cut down, no BS,
I'm gonna agree with you there. NWA Power has been nothing but good since the debut so far.
Right.
It's the perfect type of paying homage while introducing modern as well.
Right.
And that's something I like.
As far as like the flippy stuff, if you want to get into like specifics, I'm not against anything outright, but I think there are some things. There's call for it in a certain area or in front of a certain audience. There's call for it at a certain time, and there's some things that there's barely any call for. I may
Get that.
live with the fact that they exist, but I'd rather not see
Right.
it. As far as the flippy stuff, I'll be honest, I haven't followed the big show, the WWE, and regularly at least in a long time. But they used to get it right. They used to have your big guys, whether they were the Hulks or they were the big fat guys, whatever they had, the brawlers, the powerhouses. You had your flippy guys, but that was a thing. They were like 1 in 100. Nobody else did what they did, and
Okay.
because of that, they were usually against somebody of a different style.
Right.
You had let's take it all the way back, and let's just say, and I don't even know if these two actually wrestle. I don't have the institutional memory you guys do, which is funny because I'm older than both of you by quite a bit. But let's just say it's 1980 something, and Hulk Hogan and Superfly Snuka. Two completely, Hogan. If Hogan ever got on the top ropes and didn't
Right.
step back down, I didn't see it.
No.
So there you go. But if you take a Snuka or somebody that's even further down that road, like almost anybody from today's wrestling scene that's, 5'9" and 165 pounds and can flip to the rafters, and you put 3 of them in a triple threat match. I hate to sound like the tennis racket guru, but it looks choreographed and cooperative as hell. You're not watching a fight, and I immediately tune out. I watched AEW tonight before I came over here, and it was like, this match was great. This match I was watching the World Series. This match was okay. This match I was watching the World Series. It was just like, I literally would just shut it off. And I mean, granted, I may not have if the baseball game wasn't on, but it was like there's things I just don't want to see.
I get that.
But on the contrary, like you talked about Sonny Kiss, kind of ran away with that. Not only do I have no problem with it, I actually completely support that. One,
Right.
because of the era we're in with people's, with gender and sexuality and all that. That's great. But in wrestling, performance, flamboyance, outlandishness, I'm all about it. There's a great guy on the indie scene named Halston Body. He's a manager. You guys familiar with
Yep.
him?
Yes.
Now, he's not the athlete Sonny Kiss is because he's a manager, but he's along those
Yeah.
lines. I love it. Do I want a third or half of the people in wrestling to be like that? No.
No.
But I don't
And-
want a third or half of the people in wrestling to be like any one thing.
And I
Does that
agree.
make sense? Does that make sense?
I
Absolutely.
respect it.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Any other specifics?
Spoiler alert, now we have to get Jushin Thunder Liger on the show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think
it's a bit of a reach,
Yeah, I
but
think he tried to make it. I think he tried to make an appearance.
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
Oh, real quick, in AEW's developing tag division, this will really nail down how I feel.
right.
There's only 2 tag teams I like,
hmm
and they're the 2. Did you watch tonight?
I didn't watch
I did.
tonight's
Okay,
yet, but you
the-
can.
The main event was the tournament final for
Right.
their tag champions, and it came down to the Lucha Brothers and
SCU.
SCU.
I see you.
I was thrilled because I like both teams.
Okay.
In fact, they're the only 2 tag teams. I admit I am not a Bucks fan.
Really?
Not a Bucks
I
fan.
mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I was very harsh on the Bucks for the past maybe 8 years, even prior to. I'm very tough on the indie darlings.
I'm selective
I
with the Bucks
like.
now,
I
too.
didn't enjoy Daniel Bryan's run when he started in WWE, and I was very strict on him because he came from Ring of Honor, and everyone hyped him up. I didn't like Punk when he came to OVW first. They have to grow on me, so I don't blame you necessarily for not liking the Young Bucks. They definitely grew on me when it was proven that they could sell, and Bullet Club changed everything. It really did.
Okay, and I admit I started watching AEW on TV religiously because not only was I a little slow and I didn't get to see, other than little clips, either one of their All In or All Out,
Okay,
or Double
yep,
or Nothing.
yep.
I mean, I didn't get to see any of those, and I never watched NJPW or Ring of Honor or
Okay.
so the Bullet Club and all that was like a T-shirt thing to
Gotcha,
me. I wasn't
gotcha.
familiar at all. So I jumped on AEW. I'm like, here it is, kind of starting anew. I'll get on, and now I'll actually know what people are talking about.
Give him some eggnog.
What are we watching? Oh,
Milk?
Oh,
Is that boba?
that's the.
that's
the
Mariachi.
Lucha Homies.
and-
That's Lucha, yeah.
Shout out to
No, that's no.
That's
no,
Lucha
no.
Homies and the
No,
Lucha
no,
Brothers.
You had
However,
the Lucha Brothers up there. But real quick to finish that thing. So I like SCU and I like the Lucha Brothers. I like SCU because to me they're just everything a wrestling tag team should be. They can go off the ropes, they can flip, they can move so fast that the human eye can't catch the last 3 moves.
Right.
But if any one of them is standing in front of somebody else trading punches, they look like they would be at home in a bar fight. They
Truth.
look like fighters. I like them.
Kazarian still has it, man. Him and Christopher Daniels.
well, Kazarian's not as old as everyone thinks is the other
You
thing.
know,
But
Kazarian
and
almost.
I just found that out now, but I was just like, oh, they have to be close in age. I was like, because I've seen Scorpio Sky when I was
oh, Scorpio Sky's still young.
yeah.
Kazarian almost killed himself tonight.
Oh, jeez.
He went to do a Hurricane Rana.
Mm-hmm.
He was up on the corner of the top, the corner top turnbuckle, and I forget who, one of the Lucha Brothers was on the outside on the apron. So he went over and got the feet around and was doing where you drop down,
Yeah.
and he was supposed to clear the ring completely and roll and flip him onto the ground. His back and I think the back of his head hit the apron, so it was nasty. But anyway, as far as the Lucha Bros, yeah, they're Lucha,
Yeah.
but they're supposed to be.
Right.
You see their masks and their ring gear, and immediately they're Lucha. So they get a pass for all the flip because that's what they do.
Right.
So they're the 1 in 100. That's cool. When the Lucha Brothers come out, it's time for flippy shit and Lucha shit. So anyway, but I've talked enough.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent, I've talked enough. or
No,
to a
no,
certain-
no. I didn't hear the end of
Now that so there's a couple teams there, and yeah, we need to stop talking, just praising AEW. But I agree to you to a certain extent. I'm intrigued with Private Party is the other tag team, and I get it, but they're toeing the line, and so there is that fine line. And Private Party right now is all flips and all impressive with it, but there's something to be said about building to those
They're
moments.
also still
you
a
know,
very young tag
and
team.
making them feel
Make them-
fun.
yes, make them-
make them something, make them mean something.
agreed.
And if Marco Stunt got hit by a bus tomorrow, I wouldn't shed a tear.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that kid. I don't like either. Don't like him. Something about his face. I mean,
He
his
reminds
build
me
too,
of
but
that- he reminds me of that Rossi Montgomery kid.
maybe that's
Brought
it.
That's what it
home,
is.
Yep.
Brought it back home.
He looks like Rossi Montgomery.
That could be it. Like,
Makes me
uh,
sick.
and even it's like if Rossi met like Bam Bam from the Flintstones. He's just this stubby little.
Now you're just shit. Bam, what does Bam Bam got to do
Right,
with
yeah,
this?
yeah.
You know, poor Bam Bam is getting stuck
We'll
with.
have to follow him with a camera. Bam Bam's gonna jump him out in the hall.
Oh
You know,
well. All right. Well.
Rossi Montgomery.
Okay, guys, we gotta move this show along here. Billy Bonds, thank you so much for coming out.
Absolutely. Thank you for
I look
having me.
forward to having you at GCF. I look forward to who you're playing on scouting. I'm gonna keep watching an eye on you as you're watching an eye on them.
And if you want to take out
Interesting.
Chris Cadillac and Di,
I probably won't be in my chair at the next show. That's probably a pretty fair bet.
I like that.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you much.
thank you, man.
All right.
Go Ducks.
Ha.
All right.
So can we
I
talk
guess
about your Heat now?
I know you've been
I
wanting that,
I
haven't
mean,
you?
First, shout to our guy TJ Suave. I mean, speaking of old heads, my man TJ Suave, we miss you, bro.
Jesus.
We know you're still on lockdown. You know,
No, actually, he's
investors-
been freed from Facebook this week. He's been
Oh, really?
brought back after a 2-week ban, 3-week ban.
I thought he was in the same boat as my man Quincy Jones, who's on
Who was?
Facebook lockdown.
I think he just got off today too. Actually,
Sick. Well-
so all of the people that are associated with us that are getting banned on Facebook, welcome back, guys.
Damn, we're
Hi.
next, dude. Yeah,
Don't
we're
say
getting-
that.
we're
I'll
getting
pay my
sued.
way out of it.
I hope so. Shit.
So which heat are we talking about first? Are we talking? We going in a legal battle here, or are you asking me to talk about Twitter wars?
Let's see. Let's go Twitter wars, man. We're trying
So-
to get some clout here.
So I want to make things perfectly clear. I am not doing this for clout. If I did, I would have already responded to him on Twitter. I'm not looking to be
You
a
haven't
keyboard
responded
warrior.
to it?
I'm not looking to be a keyboard warrior here. You invented that, Cornette, and that's the truth. But let's pull this up. So I tweeted because I was sick of seeing Jim Cornette ranting his racist, homophobic slurs. And it's truth. Read what I say here. Jim Cornette is the equivalent of an old racist grandfather that uses the excuse he's from another time to get away with spewing constant shit from his mouth. Fuck you.
Okay.
Change with the times. Adapt or perish. And I'd rather you perish. Was that stepping a little too far?
I mean, I think I mean, Vince Russo wants him to die too. so
Was that a little far? Clearly it was, because I think we egged him on a little bit here.
I'd rather you be dipped in honey.
Oh, you gotta say it with a higher pitched tone than that.
I'd rather you. Be
I'd
dipped
rather
in
you be
honey.
dipped in honey in the Amazonian rainforest.
Rainforest, just yards away from a nest of giant scorpions. But that's too creative for a putz like you. I watched clearly too much NWA Power.
Oh, we leave that one off until the end. Go back.
What is that, Makiyaki? What is that?
Oh no, I'll get to that too.
He called you a putz. He called you a putz.
Old man Jimmy called me a putz.
Okay, that's racist because he's assuming you're Jewish. That's fucked
Is
up.
that Jewish?
Yeah, Jewish people call each other putzes. It's like us calling each other niggas.
Oy vey putz. I mean, what?
I don't know, shit. But
Oh, Jim, thank you. Truly, thank you.
fuck Jim.
If I could just take a moment here. Jim Cornette, if it meant wiping you off this planet, I would take 1,000 scorpion stings to the dick right now.
Why to the dick?
You, sir, are everything wrong with what I love in this business. Because you like to go on Twitter and talk about everything wrong with wrestling today. You like to go on about everything that went wrong with the business you loved. Well, I grew up watching the business you loved. I enjoyed it too. The best part of me and my generation, we got to watch your business become the business we love. We got to love the parts that we liked of yours and extend it and watch as new things got brought in. We didn't get tied down to one era of wrestling. Do I love the Attitude Era? Absolutely. Do I go around mocking everyone other than the Attitude Era? No. I love this business. I love everything about this business. There is a time and a place for everything in this business. Some things do I not necessarily enjoy more than others? Absolutely. But I don't go on and talk shit on everything not my style. And that's my issue with you, Cornette. You are so self-absorbed that your only interest is getting yourself over. I'm not interested in getting myself over. I like watching myself get my ass kicked more than I'll ever admit. But I'm not looking to get myself over the way you are. You are irrelevant. And the only thing you can do in today's day and age to make yourself even a bit more relevant is talk shit on popular wrestling. You hate Joey Ryan, fine. You hate the Young Bucks, fine. You hate Sonny Kiss because you're homophobic. I can understand why someone wouldn't like them, and there's a way in place to say that you don't like that style of wrestling. You said it in such a way that you can see right through you. It's the truth. And I'm not stupid enough to think you're ever going to watch any of this. I'm just stating my case. What I said...
Someone who is watching this that knows Jim Cornette, fuck you, and GCF wants to smoke. We want smoke. All right?
Jim, I appreciate everything that you grew up around in this business.
His
I don't
best
appreciate
contribution to
you.
wrestling was the Road Warriors and the Rock and Roll Express. And fuck
He
both
didn't
those
contribute
teams.
those things.
Well, I mean, he managed one of those teams. Fuck him.
He didn't.
He
Okay.
didn't do shit.
I mean, he managed an NWA invasion that no one remembers in
Yeah,
the WWF.
no.
You
So-
managed Dan Severn. You managed Eaton, and you put the title on Jarrett, and no one remembered any of it.
Yeah.
And not even the heavyweight. It was the North American NWA title.
Yeah, and Jarrett said that was one of his worst
These are
titles
things I
ever.
remember because I grew up and actually watched
My first
everything.
memory of Jim Cornette was him in the gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania. 17.
Jesus.
It's the first I ever heard of Jim Cornette or James E. Cornette.
And this will be the
Whatever.
last time I talk about Cornette, because up until this point, I've buried him week in, week out for a couple of times anytime anyone brought him up, and it's the truth. I don't respect you.
Midnight Express.
I
Who cares?
respect
Terrible tag
all
team.
wrestling, but I don't respect
this is how
you
you know
because
TJ's
you
wrong
don't
as well.
respect wrestling in general.
No, he doesn't.
You respect yourself. What is Suave saying?
And you made me like Sammy Callahan for a second because he spit in your face.
Well, but that's what that was over, actually. So go back and look, because Tom here is saying that he never specifically hated on Sonny Kiss. He got spat on by
Sammy Callahan.
Sammy Callahan because of remarks he made about Sonny Kiss.
Who is now the TNA World Champion.
Yes.
Callahan.
Yeah. So let's plug that, because I think that's all I have to say. I could go on and on, but then it just makes myself look like a mark, and that's not what we're here for, Jim. I'm here to enjoy wrestling, all wrestling.
Good wrestling.
Good rest. Hey, I love NWA Power for everything other than you. That should say it right there. Love wrestling.
You died today. Look, no,
I mean, I already
there's
said that I wish he'd perish.
Yeah, there's a poll out. Like, who should die first?
Oh,
Vince
Jesus.
Russo or Jim Cornette?
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you know who got more votes? Vince Russo for some reason.
I mean,
But
I understand that
poll
we'll-
just started, so like we can look back on it now and see maybe Cornette has more votes. But yeah, no. Fuck Jim Cornette.
I said it last week. I said it this week. You know? Oh, we got some. I mean, looks like most of the fans are agreeing here, but I'm not even going to keep reading all that. Cornette has a piece from. Okay, well, yeah, no, not getting into that. You know what we're going to do, though? We're nearing the end here. We are. So I'll give the last couple minutes here. Let's bring out someone that I really want to talk right now. Gio Mazing's here.
Why?
Because he's going to tell us about his buddies and the investors and this lawsuit going on that we're allowed to talk about parts of.
Tighten my do-rag.
Maybe he'll tell us how long it took to heal his head after I bashed his skull in last show.
You think his eyes still?
Come on in, Gio Mazin.
Where's the cheering section at? Oh man, this is great.
Are these
I'm
chairs
glad
reinforced?
I'm
He's
here.
fat, remember?
So,
Have you guys seen the Royal Rumble, by the way?
yeah.
I know we were talking about races earlier, but you know they had a white guy on the left side and the right and the black guy on the right side. TA market. Oh, never mind. Sorry, go ahead. As you were saying. As you were saying. I'm sorry. I feel like that's a.
So you can be here because
Investors.
yeah, the investors are getting real chummy with our champion right now.
Yes.
The part that I'm allowed to talk about is this. There are a number of lawsuits brought up right now, all followed by our champion, Chris Cadillac. The only one that's been settled so far is the one against me personally, and that was out of court for an undisclosed amount, and it's to be paid in installments. So you can go ahead. He's already having a blast. Cadillac put up on Instagram that he's out to dinner eating sushi. That was up there a little earlier, I think.
Got cheap sushi.
Yeah, well, this is what I said to him. I was like,
how
I'm
much
real
you
glad you're finally living that upper middle class life. So that's one
It's a
thing.
local hole-in-the-wall sushi spot.
However, I know that the investors have taken it upon themselves to try and essentially butter up Cadillac, who's injured and holding that against us too. Now,
Yes.
granted, it's his orbital bone, so I guess I did play
This is very true.
a hand.
We want to first say, Cadillac, hope you have a recovery. Hopefully you get back. You know, we really want you back. And I'm sorry for what Joseph Saint has done.
He got my apology last week. He got his apology last week. It's done. Yeah, I get it. There's still things that we need to legally talk about, but
Yes. And I just want to say it again. We're sorry. From the investors and also from Joseph Saint that we are sorry for what has happened. And we will continue to be on your side. I mean, you know, we'll be in the middle between both of you guys.
Wow.
And shut up. And we will make sure that everything gets taken care of legally. And as part of the investors, they are texting me right now. That I can't say anymore, but we are fully behind you. And
Thought said
sure
you're in
you
the middle.
are. I'm sure you are.
He is behind them. Or they're behind
Basically,
I guess it depends on the
what
night.
we are obliged to tell you that they're going to keep hiding is we can't host another show until Cadillac is ready to wrestle and defend that belt because he's claiming even more lawsuits if we held a show without him.
yes, we.
What I can tell you is I'm making sure that the GCF doctors are seeing him, not your doctors and not his doctors. Now, does this put GCF in an awkward position? Yes, but I have confirmed, I have told you even last week when this happened, we signed off on a triple threat match for that title. We will have a triple threat match for that title. We have 2 number 1 contenders right now, which still might become a 3rd number 1 contender if Guy Cool's hashtag gets over enough.
And I hate to say this, because you know, obviously, I don't want that, but
Tough.
the investors have agreed to those terms. So we will have.
I don't think
a
the
triple
investors
threat.
had a fucking choice. They don't write the fucking shows.
We signed off on that match at the end of the last show. Cadillac can say that he's hurt, and that's fine. So be hurt and go heel. And I'm watching now, and we've sent our own doctors for that reason. We're not having some guy tell us that he's off for 6 months, and so are we. Not happening.
No.
I'll
Nobody's
wait out.
waiting
I'll
6
wait out.
months
What
for
we're in?
anything.
We're entering Thanksgiving. I'll wait out November, and then we're having some real talks. Because maybe hold it against me to not put on a show, but GCF can sure as hell sponsor some matches on other people's cards, whether you guys like it or not, and whether the champion likes it or
And
not.
we've got some good friends in many places.
Who you got friends from? In
Everywhere.
the streets? Who? You got no
Streets.
one. You suck.
Corporate. I'll send your ass to Barstow like that.
No one's behind you. Anyways,
Is that all you're here for? You were here to just kiss ass some more and tell Cadillac hi?
Hey, don't you have a pig roast to go to, fat boy?
I just want to say Cadillac first off.
You any
Geo
further in your
Amazing.
training,
Thank you.
Mr. Future?
Training for the
first
National
off,
Hot Dog Eating Contest?
I had some real bad decisions in that first show, didn't I?
First
I
off, you
mean,
came in second. But anyways, you know, I'm here a part of the investors just to make sure everything is going as planned. Okay. Second, you know, obviously he wasn't planned, but third,
I
we want to
came to
make
y'all.
sure that we run GCF as a very
You mean me and
global-
Joseph Saint? Yeah, we are running GCF just fine.
Saint knows what he chose, all right, when he joined GCF. The investors,
the investors
have a big
hired
part
me.
of
I
this.
hired you. How are you still
I thought
here?
that's what
All right, you said your business.
they
Get
should have
out of
sent
here.
the black dude out here. At least that nigga know how to speak.
You said your business. Thank you, Mr. Geo.
Yeah, why are you here?
Thank you so much, and like I said, Caddy, thank you so much for getting the apology from me. I appreciate that.
Nobody said sorry
And
to you. Who apologized to you?
we just want to say that the investors are always watching, and get better. Saint, you're still here with us. Okay? I want to make sure that you are fully with us.
Goodbye, Geo.
Okay? I'm sorry for what happens next.
Get the fuck out of here.
By the way, you suck.
Look at those excellent skills developed by the investors.
Yeah,
Huh.
man.
All right.
Hey, you taught him how to talk. Big Money Joe over there in Barstow? Is that who taught him how to talk? Fucking Lance
Guys,
Wilson taught him how to talk?
oh
Bully
man.
Zone? He looked like the dude from Bully Zone. Actually,
I mean, Dave Bully Zone had it, you know.
you know, you sure wasn't the kid from Bully Zone? What's his name?
What?
Yeah. You remember Bully Zone?
I do.
You used to have,
Good guys.
Sean
I mean,
Sanders?
I don't think they dress quite like that, you know.
no.
Anyways, we're ignoring. Yeah, I get it. The investors are always watching. I've given that spiel for the better part of a year. Here's the deal, guys. Yeah, GCF's got some legal drama right now because of our champion. But like I just said, we're not letting that stop us. If we're not going to host a show, we're sure as hell going to host some matches. And that's the news that we're going to have for you in the coming weeks here. You can't stop us forever, Cadillac. Try your best. DI's just fine. I think things are going right now. DI's down to 2 members. If we look at all the things that we need to do, we're doing just great.
This is true.
GCF's just great if DI's just fine.
I mean, and if we got, the family bonds and, they, secretly kill people.
Well.
So that's what I gathered from it. they
We've got many interesting things coming to GCF. We've got
Oh.
many interesting things.
Not a lot of people watch the same
One of them is
episode.
not Geo Mason. I can tell you that right now. But guys, that looks to be all of our time for another week. Next week we'll come at you with even more announcements. Maybe we'll have something more from our champion, if he says so.
Maybe,
Other than that, boss man, anything you got to say?
we want the smoke from any and everybody out there. Not just Southern California, but in Vegas, Texas, Georgia.
To Camp Cornet.
to Camp
All right.
Cornette. Camp Russo, too.
Guys, this is your commish saying, leave it on the mat, or you're just another mark. We'll see you next time.
Wait, why is he back? He just signed off.
Shut up. Producer, can you show that slide, please?
What the fuck is that?
Okay.
Why do people just tell Rob? Can we get a new producer?